The 1970s were a time of technological innovation that gave us the building blocks of the robotics and machinery of today. With so many breakthroughs happening at the same time, some are bound to endure while the rest are destined to be lost in time. Here are 6 of the most popular gadgets everyone wanted in the 70s. Which of these long-forgotten gadgets do you remember? Pong game console. Pong was a game that simulated table tennis, and it was created by Atari co-founder Nolan Bushnell in 1972. It was a simple game with just 2 paddles and a ball, but it quickly became a sensation, captivating you with its addictive gameplay and simple mechanics. The Pong game console was a sleek and stylish device that could be connected to a TV set. It came with 2 paddles and a small ball that would move back and forth across the screen, digitizing a table tennis game. You used your paddle to hit the ball back and forth as you tried to beat your opponent. When Atari introduced Pong to the world, everyone knew that it would change the way we played video games. It was easy enough to understand for anyone to play, yet challenging enough to keep you glued to the screen for hours. It was the perfect way to pass the time on a lazy afternoon or a rainy day. The Pong game console was a gadget that paved the way for the video game industry as we know it today. It birthed a generation of game developers and gamers, and it remains a beloved classic among video game historians. But the Pong game console isn't the last we would hear from Atari, as many of you might be familiar with our next gadget. Atari 2600. In 1977, Atari introduced a new gadget to the world, the Atari 2600. It was a home video game console that allowed friends and family to enjoy a wide range of exciting games, much more immersive than Pong. The Atari 2600 had a wood grain finish and smooth lines. It had a wide range of games, from classic arcade-style games like Pac-Man and Space Invaders to adventure games like Pitfall. You wanted it, and the Atari 2600 had it. But what really made the Atari 2600 stand out was its ability to use cartridges. This meant that you could easily switch between different games without having to buy a new console every time you wanted to play something different. It was a concept that let you enjoy an unprecedented level of variety in your gaming experience. At the launch of the Atari 2600, there were just 9 games available. Each one was offering a different kind of gaming experience. Some were more cerebral, like basic math and blackjack, while others were fast-paced and action-packed, like Combat and Indy 500. There were also classic arcade games like Surround and Video Olympics, and even a game that simulated air and sea battles, aptly named Air-Sea Battle. Despite the limited selection, the initial launch of the Atari 2600 was a huge success, and it quickly became the hottest device that very year. And even though it's been more than 4 decades since its release, the Atari 2600, along with the Pong game console, are iconic gadgets that will always be remembered as pioneers in the world of video games. Soundabout Walkman. Sony introduced the Walkman, then known as the Soundabout, in 1979. This portable cassette player was one of the first of its kind, allowing you to take their music with you on the go. But despite its innovative design and high-quality sound, the first model of the Walkman was not an instant success. Its $200 price tag and large size made it a niche product that only appealed to a small group. Everything changed in 1981 when Sony released the Walkman 2. This new version was 25% smaller, had 50% more moving parts, and was way more affordable. Suddenly, cassette tapes became the dominant format for music distribution and consumption. Music lovers could actually take their favorite songs with them anywhere they went now, thanks to a device no larger than an adult hand. The Walkman turned into a cultural phenomenon overnight. Now, before we get into some more gadgets of yesteryear, show us some love by giving this video a thumbs up and stick around till the end because we've got a bonus for you. Now, back to the video. Philips N1500 video cassette recorder. Television has become an indispensable part of people's lives in the 1970s, but with only a handful of channels available, viewers wanted more. That's when the Philips N1500 video cassette recorder burst into the scene. Launched in 1972, the N1500 was one of the first VCRs to hit the market. Though it was pretty bulky, roughly the size of a large briefcase, and used big VHS-like cassettes that could record only up to 1 hour of TV programming, it changed the way people watch television. Of course, such an inventive piece of technology came at a hefty price. At over $1,000 in today's money, the N1500 wasn't the most affordable, but early adopters who could afford it didn't mind the cost. Finally, they could record their favorite TV shows and watch them later at a more convenient time. One of the N1500's standout features was its built-in timer. It allowed users to record shows no matter how far away from home they were. This was a game changer for many who no longer had to worry about missing the latest episode of MASH while going on a night out. Pocket Instamatic 110. In today's world, it's common for kids to have a camera, phone, and computer all in their pocket, but they may not fully appreciate just how revolutionary gadgets like Kodak's Pocket Instamatic 110 were back in the day. The Pocket Instamatic 110 was the cheapest of Kodak's line of Instamatic cameras, and while the name might suggest instant development, it actually referred to the camera's ability to take quick snapshot photos. Its small size made it easy to carry around, but it wasn't without its flaws. The Magic Cube flash, designed to create more light in low-light conditions, was often too powerful for the camera. This produced photos with heavy red eye and glare effects. But despite its shortcomings, the Instamatic 110 was a game changer. It democratized photography, making it more accessible to the average person. And with so many photos taken on these now obscure cameras, the whole decade now has a distinct look and feel, as seen through the eyes of the Instamatic 110. So there you have it, 6 gadgets of the 1970s we no longer see around today. And now for our bonus gadget. Speak and Spell. If you grew up in the 1970s, I'm sure you remember the Speak and Spell. It was an educational device that allowed children to hear and see the words they were spelling, making it easier for them to learn and retain new vocabulary. The Speak and Spell was eye-catching with its bright colors and digital display. A raspy, computerized voice helped kids pronounce words and letters, making it a fun and engaging way for children to learn. It came with a variety of games and activities that helped kids practice their spelling and vocabulary skills. It was even the gadget of choice for extraterrestrials to learn English, as we saw everyone's favorite alien, E.T., playing around with a Speak and Spell in the Steven Spielberg blockbuster. The good news is that the Speak and Spell is back on shelves now, but since technology in children's education has come a long way since the 1970s, we have a feeling this one will be catering to adult nostalgia. Which of these gadgets from the 1970s were you most fond of? Tell us about it in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel, and thanks for watching.